Hello and welcome to a delayed lunch edition of MBC News with me, Evelis Chingambi. Our top stories. President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera attends a mass at St. Peter's Catholic Church in Mzuzu. The 2024 tobacco marketing season officially closes. And in sports, newly established Tambala Super Cup kicks off in Blantyre with almost 90 Blantyre rural teams ready to compete. Thank you for joining us. Now the news in detail. President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera has attended a mass at St. Peter's Catholic Church in Mzuzu. Dr. Chakwera and the First Lady, Madam Monica Chakwera, attended a second mass at the church where he was welcomed by Bishop Mthandisi Nyirenda of the Mzuzu Diocese. In his remarks, Bishop Nyirenda asked Malawians to pray for this country as it is trying to deal with challenges it is currently facing. Dr. Chakwera has been in the north where he has carried out a number of government business in the region. Still with the President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera has described culture as a milestone in promoting peace and unity, which is key to the achievement of the Malawi 2063 aspirations. The Malawi leader said this during this year's Umthetho Cultural Festival hosted by the Nkhani people of Mzimba under Inkosi Yamakosi Mbera 5. Jackson Sijali has the details.
Spiced with traditional music and dances in solidarity, harmony, compassion and love, the Nkhani people of Mzimba celebrated the Umthetho Cultural Festival in style towards this year's theme, uniting against climate change in the decade of His Majesty Inkosi Yamakosi Mbera 5. Speaking during the event, the Malawi leader highlighted that embracing different cultural beliefs promotes communality, a development that helps people of different cultural backgrounds to do things together. Dr. Chakwera therefore described this year's Umthetho Cultural Festival as an important event in addressing certain social challenges that the country is going through. The Malawi leader was quick to point out that this year's theme is in line with what Malawi is going through as a result of climate change, which has not only affected Malawi but other surrounding countries.
Your Majesty, I must thank you for your efforts in using Nkhani culture to promote national unity. You could have easily made this Nkhani festival like this an exclusive affair, but you chose instead to make it a national celebration by inviting Malawians from all over the country to celebrate with you. And what's remarkable is how often you grace the cultural festivals of other tribal groups in our nation to show your commitment to and solidarity with all Malawians as bona fide citizens of this country and worthy of celebration. This show of national unity in times of celebration is indispensable to the building of the trust and collaboration that we will need in addressing the national challenges that we face in common. And the bottom line is that when it comes to tackling the food shortage that is annually being triggered by climate change impacts, like the El Nino weather we have had this year,
Inkosi Yamakosi Mbera 5 said following climatic issues that have affected many countries in Africa, they thought it necessary that this year's Umthetho celebrations should focus on finding long-lasting solutions to mitigate impacts of climatic shocks for the betterment of all. Inkosi Yamakosi Mbera 5 also hailed Dr. Chakwera for his commitment in attending different cultural festivals within the nation, which he described as a demonstration of servant leadership and love for his people. The festival celebrates the traditional heritage of the Nkhani of Mzimba and it features traditional dances with Ingoma being the highlight. This year's event was unique as it coincides with the 10th anniversary of Inkosi Yamakosi Mbera 5th's reign. Apart from King Misuzulu Kazweritin wife, Her Royal Highness Queen Nomzamo Kamyeni from South Africa, who was delegated by King Mzweritini, Also present during the meeting were Inkosi Yamakosi Zurugama of Songea in Tanzania, His Majesty Inkosi Yamakosi Mpezeni IV from Zambia, Paramount Chief Kiungo of Karonga and Chitipa, among other dignitaries from Zimbabwe and Kenya, including Malawian government officials. Jackson Sijali, MBC News, Hola Mzimba.
Meanwhile, President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera says his government is committed to collaborate with all stakeholders, including chiefs, to deliver on turning Malawi into a producing nation through industrialization. Dr. Chakwera said this in response to the comment Inkosi Yamakosi Mbera 5 made regarding development projects implementation in Mzimba. Jackson Sijali with the details.
In his speech, President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera said his government is committed to accomplishing the Mega Farms project to promote agriculture production and productivity. The Malawi leader also hailed the Mzimba Heritage Association for being a strategic partner in the planning and execution of different projects in Mzimba district. Dr. Chakwera further pledged to ensure the completion of Mberwa University and other development projects in the district.
When it comes to development projects that are a constitutional right for all Malawians, such as the stadium, district offices, road network, bridges, and Mbela University that we are determined to develop here in Mzimba, we are in this together. When it comes to mobilizing our citizens to register to vote so that they can enjoy their democratic and political rights by participating in the 2025 general elections, which the Malawi Electoral Commission launched yesterday, we are in this together. When it comes to improving public service delivery through governance reform measures, such as strengthening the systems, improving the policies, capacitating the personnel, and rooting out avenues of corruption across the public sector, we are in this together.
Meanwhile, Inkosi Yamakosi Mbera 5 has expressed gratitude for government support towards this year's Umthetho Cultural Festival and has said the chiefs in the district will continue to collaborate with government to achieve a better Malawi for all. Jackson Sijari, MBC News, Hola Mzimba.
Minister of Agriculture Sam Kawale has challenged civil society organizations and other private sector players to embrace the agricultural mechanization initiative being implemented by government. Kawale made the call in Lilongwe during a high-level dialogue for CSOs and other think tanks in the sector on the agricultural transformation through Affordable Inputs Program AIP and the Mega Farms initiatives. Details with our reporter Foster Maulidi.
In his keynote address, Minister of Agriculture Sam Kawale highlighted the major reforms being undertaken on Affordable Inputs Program and Mega Farms initiatives. He highlighted efforts to restructure the AIP to accommodate reasonable productive beneficiaries, crop diversification, and the introduction of Land and Farmers Information Management System. The minister, however, emphasized on the need for CSOs to take an active role in investing in commercial farming activities and help the agriculture transformation drive.
The journey towards the success of implementation of MIP1 does not only lie in the hands of government, but every person and every organization is supposed to take part of it. We want the development partners to come in and help to invest in the irrigation as well. All what we are trying to do is to help Malawians to stop thinking subsistently and to start thinking commercially, but not just making them think commercially, but by providing the necessary environment and access to financing and access to markets for them to make money through agriculture and for the whole country to have food, because we are doing this commercially.
Lingalileni Mihowa of Oxfam, who initiated the dialogue alongside Sisanet, said the meeting has enlightened CSOs on key issues which need collective efforts for a meaningful direction towards country's food security and economic growth. Mihowa has since assured government of commitment from the CSOs in complementing government efforts towards sector transformation.
Not many people from CSO perspective were able to get the coherent picture that the minister has shown. So our biggest offer is the space. It's also the knowledge, because we have got think tanks like Mwapata. We also have other institutions like the CISANET that were able to make a paper. And also, I think one of the key issues is our offer around the coordination, because when we go on the ground, the common person is not able to distinguish what is a government intervention and the CSO intervention. And I think for us, we've been able to demonstrate some models that the minister has said these are the models in the right direction in terms of the agriculture sector transformation.
Malawi government is implementing the Mega Farms initiative aimed at revamping and commercializing agriculture with a total of 161 billion kwacha allocated to agriculture sector in the 2024-2025 farming season. Foster Maulidi, MBC News, Lilongwe.
The Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, has called for a proactive approach in dealing with effects of climate change in order to save funds lost during disasters. Head of Emergency and Resilience at FAO, Daniel Barelli, met the call in Lilongwe during a workshop aimed at bolstering Malawi's anticipatory actions against natural disasters. More with Tozani Jumpa.
Malawi faces significant risks from floods, droughts and hunger due to climate change. As a result, the country needs proactive measures to manage disasters effectively. During a national anticipatory action training organized by the FAO, head of the Emergency and Resilience at FAO, Daniel Barrere, emphasized the importance of implementing measures to manage disaster risks and improve food security in the country.
We believe that there is a kind of a shift that needs to be done from investing a lot in humanitarian response and assistance, but rather work much more in depth into preparing for any occurrences of disaster. Thus also enable the community to be more resilient to the effect of these climate change and related disasters.
The Department of Disaster Management Affairs Director of Preparedness, Moses Chimpepo, expressed gratitude for the humanitarian support provided by various organizations. Chimpepo also spoke on the need for more funding towards implementation of the anticipatory actions.
We can do anticipatory action by doing irrigation farming, doing those activities and produce. And when we get the disaster, the drought, we already have the crops produced. Or again, let me go to the other side, maybe we're anticipating some flooding. We can we can build dikes, we can do several activities, or we can even evacuate people from the flood-prone areas to avert damage and loss, to reduce damage and loss.
Last year alone, over 500 people lost their lives in Malawi due to Cyclone Freddy, which also left 4.4 million people affected by food insecurity.
The CCAP Synod of Livingstonia has expressed commitment to reducing repetition rates among learners in the country through provision of quality early childhood development programs. CCAP Synod of Livingstonia ECD Department Executive Director Reverend Edward Kamtuzi was speaking in Mzuzu during witnessing of children who have transitioned from its international preschool to formal education. More in this report by Grant Mohango, being read by Jackson Sijali.
Research has shown that a good and solid foundation in early childhood development remains crucial in the reduction of repetitions amongst learners, especially in formal education. It is out of this background that the CCAP Synod of Livingstonia, through its ECD development, has partnered government in the training of caregivers across the country. The Synod's ECD Executive Director, Edward Kamtuzi, says his department is complementing government's effort in the provision of quality early childhood development programs as one way of achieving quality basic education by 2063.
Limited number of children dropping out from school when they have gone through early childhood development, but also it enhances academic excellence. Those children that have gone through the preschool, for example, from our CCP International Preschool, most of them they perform far much better than those that have never gone through the preschool, and research also attests to that.
For his part, one of the ECD's learners' parents in Mzuzu, Jonathan Ivumo, commended the Synod for providing inclusive ECD programs.
It is necessary and it is within government policy that children that are getting recruited into Standard 1 have to undergo preschool education. But when you go into rural communities, you would hardly find a preschool or even a community-based childcare center where children go to before they attend Standard 1. And so it is necessary for all of us to hold hands to make sure that we have preschools in every location.
During the ceremony, children displayed various activities as part of their celebration as they transition to formal education.
You're watching MBC News and you're with me, Evelis Chingambe. Remember, you can access all MBC digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. A reminder of the top stories. President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera attends a mass at St. Peter's Catholic Church in Mzuzu. The 2024 tobacco marketing season officially closes. And in sports, newly established Tambala Super Cup kicks off in Blantyre with almost 90 Blantyre rural teams ready to compete. Welcome back. This year's tobacco selling season has officially closed as Mzuzu auction floors recorded its final sale on Friday. The tobacco sales have managed to rake in $395.3 million from 132.8 million kilograms sold a day before the official closure. The closure comes 2 weeks after Limbe and Kanengo had already closed. Spokesperson for the Tobacco Commission, Teleforest Chikwenembe, says the final seasonal revenue and volumes will be announced soon.
We are very happy that the selling season that we have just closed was a very successful one. We saw prices that excited tobacco growers, the Tobacco Commission, as well as other stakeholders. We also saw that trading in this season was very smooth. We didn't have challenges that would have led to the disruption of the market. So it was a very good one. We will be tabulating the volumes as well as the revenue generated, and we'll be publicizing that once that is finalized.
The Blantyre City Council says it will soon start implementing a revised urban structure plan which will help to solve housing problems in the city. Director of Town Planning, Kosli Chanza, told MBC that the new plan recommends that residential areas that were built many years ago should be upgraded by building houses with more than one story so as to accommodate many people in the city. He spoke to Patrick Dambola.
The plan that we're talking about has recommended a number of areas that can improve the housing situation. I'll start with the areas where we have my housing corporation. Most of those houses that we see in Chitawira, Naperi, Nkoloko, Sakanjedza, and other odd areas of the city. The plan has recommended that funds permitting they should be raised down to pave way for high-rise residential housing of up to minimum at least 5 stories. The idea is that if you look at our residents in the city, most of them complain from where they are staying that is far from their working environment. So having those houses demolished will ensure that people reduce their travel time to their workplaces. That's one advantage. The second advantage is that in an area like in Kolokosa, where, let's say Kolokosa B, you could have maybe like 250 homes. Now coming up with a new idea for high-rise building, it means that you can accommodate maybe close to 1,000 families within the same space, which is currently accommodating about 150. So this is an issue that is also similar to what my housing are suggesting in their planning documents. They would like to have mindset change in the way they deliver their housing across the country. But for starters, we are going to start with the areas in the urban centers of Blantyre, Lilongwe, Zomwe, and Zozo.
The 2024 International Construction Conference, which is scheduled for this week, has received a 15 million kwacha boost from Standard Bank. Speaking during a check presentation to the national construction industry, NCIC, Standard Bank Head of Business and Commercial Banking, Graham Chipande, said the bank understands the role of the construction sector in growing the country's economy. Chipande says the contribution is in line with the bank's driving growth agenda, which aims at transforming Malawi's economic landscape. Chipande explains.
As we prepare for the conference, the boost that we have received from Standard Bank, I'm very excited. Actually, as you have mentioned, it is a boost. But again, it shows the partnership that we have been looking for. Because as the NCIC, we developed our strategic plan, and our strategic thrust for the next 5 years is to ensure that we have a sustainable and quality-driven construction industry. So that's the reason why the coming in of Standard Bank is very, very crucial. There is a need for heavy investment. Even at this particular conference, we'll have several discussions surrounding that. And the theme of this conference is actually innovate, adapt, and excel, a quality-driven construction industry.
Chief Executive Officer for NCIC, Engineer Gerald Konje, applauded Standard Bank for the gesture. Konje says they are making headway to reach the 100 million kwacha target for the conference, which is expected to be held in Mangochi under the theme Innovate, Adapt, and Excel Quality-Driven Construction Industry.
So at Standard Bank, we say Malawi is our home and we drive her growth. And in line with the development agenda, even when you look at the pillars under MW 2063, when we talk about building the nation, it literally starts with building, and infrastructure plays a key role in all the three areas that we've identified, be it in agriculture, tourism, mining, or manufacturing even. The role of the construction industry in making sure that we've got safe buildings, sustainable infrastructure, but also quality infrastructure that's able to withstand climate shocks, the use, but even can last us many years into the future, because these are public investments that depend on the public's money and are supposed to last us well into the future. So at Standard Bank, we're very excited to have an opportunity to partner with NCIC in taking part in this conversation. We also consider this one of the growth conversations that we'd want to participate in terms of how we can use investments in infrastructure to drive growth.
Moving on to arts and entertainment, in a bid to promote the country's creative industry, MultiChoice Malawi has embarked on an initiative to allow artists send proposals of a storyline for drama and comedy series. Deborah Mzembe is MultiChoice's Corporate Affairs and Public Relations Manager, and she spoke to our reporter Moson Malua.
What we're looking for is a 13-part drama and comedy series. Each episode should be 24 minutes long and keep viewers on the edge of their seats. This must be a story that resonates with Malawians, as we want series that depict the true essence of Malawian life, capturing the joys, the struggles, the cultural nuances, and the Malawi unique culture. We want something that is fresh, that the series should be original and unlike anything that is currently on 1Z. We also want something that has an emotional roller coaster, something that will keep us on the edge of our seats, make us laugh, make us cry, and bring all those emotions to life. We need these proposals by 11th August 2024, and make sure that you send us a captivating synopsis that briefly describes your concept and grab our attention.
And in sports, the newly established Tambala Super Cup has commenced in Blantyre, with almost 90 Blantyre rural teams ready to compete. The launch took place at Commander Ground in Chilega. Amin Musa has the details.
Speaking during the launch of 10 million kwacha Cup, Amazon Group Limited Managing Director Moses Kunkuyo, who is also Minister of Information, said the company's expectation is to change football mindset to new model.
We are talking about football here. This plan has been in the pipeline for over 4 months. The gentleman here approached me 4 months ago to request for some financing towards this tournament. I have just provided that because we are waiting to have the money available. You know, I was relating it to the art of football. What has changed? How has football evolved from the way football used to be played to how football is being played now? What you can see is that they have injected a great dose of thinking, critical thinking in the way football is being played, administration of football, even the way football managers do manage the game. If we can borrow that, we are not going to waste our time criticizing leaders or not wasting our time on TikTok, Facebook, and not using it productively.
Southern Region Football Association Committee General Secretary Diles Kachala said the committee will safeguard the cup to attract the sponsor to return with another package going forward.
We are too excited as far as the administrators of football, especially in the Southern Region on behalf of the farm. We are too excited about the Tambala Super Cup. We want to jealously guard this. We don't want any problems associated to this cup. At least at the end of the time, we are going to attract a lot of sponsors to come into the football. So we are going to jealously guard this cup.
Among the people who graced the occasion are Chiefs, Mighty Wanderers coach Meke Mwase and former Flames striker Chukepo Msoya. Black Missionaries Band and Simon Nkendo spiced up the launch with a live performance. Chukul Young Eagles and Commander All Stars opened the cup with a ceremonial match, and the Young Eagles carried the day through post-match penalty shootout after a goalless draw in regular time. Amin Musa, NBC Sport, Blantyre.
And that's it from our newsroom this afternoon. A reminder of the top stories. President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera attends a mass at St. Peter's Catholic Church in Mzuzu. The 2024 tobacco marketing season officially closes. And in sports, newly established Tambala Super Cup kicks off in Blantyre with almost 90 Blantyre rural teams ready to compete. For more on these and other stories, follow MBC Digital on Facebook, X, and also our website mbc.mw. You can access all MBC Digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You are with me, Evelyn Stingambe. Thanks for watching and have a lovely Sunday.